as to whether we're going to have a fast race or a slow early pace, and it looks as if it's going to be slow. David Moorcroft finds himself almost inevitably in almost every race he runs up there in front. He smiles about it. He says somehow it keeps happening. It's Cova, the Italian winner of the 10,000 metres alongside him. There's Kunze, one of the great dangers, the blonde East German, who wears number 403. Won the Zurich 5,000 metres in 13 minutes 12 seconds. Former European record holder at 13 minutes 10 before David Moorcroft set that remarkable world record, 13 minutes dead. Some several seconds faster than anybody else in history.
Well, Dave did say that the one thing he wasn't going to do was lead all the way, and I'm sure all he's doing there is sitting at the front and waiting for someone to make a move, because he's no intention of stringing them out from the start. Even though I think he possibly could have done that, there's no way he intends to do that. But we've been watching the West Germans all week, and they're probably the most experienced athletes in this race. Thomas Wessinghage. They seem to be like a racehorse stable with all their horses in form, and you know, there's always the thing of just does the snowball keep on rolling, and does Thomas Wessinghage get caught up in that one?
Fairly slow first lap, 67 seconds. Still Moorcroft leading, and Mike McLeod coming up on the outside. He was lying right at the back of the field. Cova, Moorcroft's shoulder. Tracking Moorcroft is Wessinghage, and now Mike McLeod taking on the duty of leader. Being followed by Christoph Höhler of West Germany. David Moorcroft third, Cova 4, Kunze 5. Right on the inside is Tim Hutchins. Very noticeable that Wessinghage is tracking Moorcroft. Just take them to 800 metres completed, which is at the end of this back straight, and have a word from Steve Yvette there. Mike McLeod leading. Höhler of West Germany in second place. Cova is third. David Moorcroft 4. Wessinghage 5. Kunze 6. They're just completing 800 metres. First lap of 67 seconds, and they've gone through 800 metres, Steve Yvette, with another 67. It's 2:14.
Yes, it's very moderate sort of running, David, and I think really we're going to see this almost all the way till maybe 5 laps if someone breaks and tries to make a run from home there, or maybe even right the way up until the last couple of laps. I think it's good to see that Mike's out there and just relaxing through, because obviously at the moment he may be thinking that it is helping David somewhat, but I can see the problem here is, if you look, there's an awful lot of water on that track, David, and that's going to cause a lot of problems with the runners in the middle of the pack. So I hope that David maybe can get clear of that sometime.
The rain is still falling very heavily indeed. Still Mike McLeod leading for Great Britain. Ignorov of Bulgaria in second place. Christoph Höhler of West Germany is third. In fourth place now Schildar of East Germany. Fifth is Cova of Italy. That's Vainio, by the way, the big Finn going up on the outside. He seems to have had enough of the slower pace and wants to take it on. So Vainio leads as they go through 3 laps. Mike McLeod follows, and certainly Vainio has increased the pace slightly. That was a 66-second lap. So it's the big Finn in front, McLeod following. David Moorcroft's got his way off the curb, as inevitably happens with a slow pace like this. When David had been leading, he got pushed back on the inside, has had to come back round the file, drop back, find space, and come back on the outside. And he's got himself now out of the box position. 9 laps to go. Finland in front, Great Britain through McLeod and Moorcroft second and third.
When you get a slow race like that, you get the athletes, they're not tired enough, they're not tired at all, they're just running around and they're relaxed. And some of them get nervous when they're in that relaxed state, because most of them prefer to run hard all the way. And occasionally you get something happen like Vainio moving through the field, and then the rest of them don't know quite what to do. Do they go with him or do they let him go? But quite sensibly, Dave's moving up on his shoulder. But I've noticed every step of this race, Thomas Wessinghage has followed everything that Dave Moorcroft's done.
And that was faster, 64 seconds, so they go through 4 laps in 4 minutes 24, but still the pace around the high 1320s. Vainio in front. David Moorcroft in second place. Wessinghage following him all the time. Wessinghage, a doctor who for several seasons didn't dabble much in medicine, but was almost a full-time athlete. But in the last 18 months, he's been working hard at his business, or profession I should say, but has taken leave since April for special training. And certainly that, as Steve Ovett suggested, has shown in his form this season. Moorcroft just looking back to see what's going on behind him, and moves up now outside Vainio. So David's quite happy to take it on.
Well, seven and three-quarter laps to go, and David Moorcroft moved to the front there, and this time he's not just serving time there, he's moving and he's trying to do something. He's obviously thought that the pace was too slow, or maybe it's one of his things that he's talked about earlier, is just drifting to the front. But again, Thomas Wessinghage has followed him step by step, and the man that I think is the other real danger, Kunze, has just been tracking Thomas Wessinghage. So Dave seems to be the one who's thinking his race, and the others seem to have decided that whatever Dave Moorcroft does, I'm going to follow him.
Conditions uncomfortable, the shorts will be getting very, very sticky and wet. Moving through on the outside, Dmitriev there, the Soviet Union. He's an interesting athlete. He's won their championship this season for the best time of 13:19. He comes from Leningrad. He's little known outside the USSR, and in fact not much known inside it. Coaches himself. We've been talking to the Soviet commentators, but they just shrug their shoulders and say he's self-coached. That's unusual. We don't know him very well. The last lap, by the way, was another 64 seconds. They've got just over 6.5 to go. Moorcroft leading, Wessinghage in second place, Vainio third, Dmitriev 4, Mike McLeod in 5th, Schildar 6th, Kunze on the curb 7th, Kova is 8th, Tim Hutchins 9th, Hurler of West Germany 10, Ignatov of Bulgaria 11, Abramov of Russia 12, Riffel of Switzerland 13, 14 is the Swede Eriksson.
Over 6 laps to go. It's a long way out to stretch the field, but I thought he was stretching the field, but in fact he actually slowed down, so you know I'm not quite.
Some applause. Clear on his first attempt at 2 meters 10, the high jump in its early stages.
Well, this race totally unpredictable, really. On paper, Moorcroft should win it, but they're all in there following the pace, which is not breaking up the field at all. And the pace there, Steve, on the last lap, slow to a 67.
I'm sitting in the studio, David, and I can feel all my tension building up like a spring, waiting for something to happen. And I think all the runners must be doing the same at the moment. They're all waiting for someone to lose concentration and break for the tape, and they're all waiting for something to happen. You can see there's the whole field within the space of 10 yards. Very, very sort of dramatic situation with the laps ticking by.
Certainly, there's no sign of any pressure being put on at all in terms of pace now. As David Moorcroft comes round into the home straight once more and sees the figure 5 staring at him. That's about 1.25 miles left. Wessinghage in second place, Kova of Italy third. The bumping going on there as they fight for position and try to get off the curve to cover any break. The whole field now closed up to about 10 to 12 metres.
Well, I don't exactly know what Dave Moorcroft's instructions were from his coach John Anderson, but I can imagine they were fairly well thought out. But Thomas Wessinghage, it's pretty obvious his instructions were stick to the shoulder of Dave Moorcroft, and I've never ever seen an athlete carry out their instructions from their coach as clearly as that. Because so far I don't think Dave's moved more than about 3 inches ahead of Thomas Wessinghage.
McLeod moved up on the outside. The interesting thing there was Moorcroft was not going to let him go. What David doesn't want to do at this stage is get caught on the curve. And by the way, Kunze there at the back appeared to go off the track there for a moment. There must have been a bump or bang. I don't know what happened to him, Brendan.
Well, actually, I was just watching the race from the stand here, and I saw Kunze running on the grass, so he must have slipped over the edge of the track, over the barrier, a few strides on the grass and back onto the track. Now, whether that will have any effect on the overall result, I really don't know, because actually he was supposed to stay on the track.
Oh, but Vainio now, he's made a tremendous response because he's kicked quite hard. The last lap there, with Vainio taking it over, was a 62-second lap. David Moorcroft caught on the curb slightly where he didn't want to be. He'll try to work his way off that position, which is exactly what he's just done. Moorcroft, so much experience, 29 years old, and he's back now out of the trouble position. Vainio hasn't broken them properly, slowing down, finding the pace fast as they come around with 3 to go. The big Finn leads, Moorcroft second, Wessinghage third, McLeod goes up now. A quick word from Steve Ovett.
Yes, that was interesting. When Kunze come off the track there, David. I think what happened was he caught the heels.
Paino still leading. Mike McLeod tucked in on the curb. They're all bunched together. David obviously believes he's the fastest man, he can outsprint the rest. Wessinghage right with him. Also there is Schildar. Moving up at the outside as Abramov now showing for the first time. Ericsson is in trouble.
Well, I saw Kunze there limping a few strides just as they came through with 2 laps to go, and he's really struggling to get in with that pace. He's either been pushed or kicked, whatever. We've seen a few incidents. He suffered at the end of one of them. But Dave's back in the front again, and on his shoulder is Thomas Wessinghage.
So, it's all on the boil for the last lap. Dmitriev goes up on the outside. They've got 600 metres left. And Moorcroft goes through again. He's absolutely determined, and rightly so, not to lose the inside position. But he doesn't want to get surrounded by athletes, says he can't have a clear run. That's Dmitriev now, of the Soviet Union, taking them on. And David has got caught there. He's got to get out of that position. He's looking around to see where the trouble is, but he may be unlucky in getting a clear run from there. This time they're coming through to the bell. Dmitriev leads, Schildar second, Wessinghage third, Tim Hutchins now fourth, Abramov is fifth, and Moorcroft appears at the moment to be in trouble. Paino chasing that group as well. Just over 300 to go. It's still Schildar in front. And moving out is Wessinghage. And Tim Hutchins with the leaders there. Abramov is there. And up on the outside goes David Moorcroft. He's escaped from the trouble. He's out of the trouble now. But Wessinghage is away. Moorcroft chasing hard. And Wessinghage has made the break. And surely they're not going to catch him. Moorcroft got caught when he didn't want to be. Tim Hutchins in third place. Schildar four. And David Moorcroft paid the penalty for losing his place at the bell. It's Wessinghage, the man we all feared, who comes home to take the goal for West Germany. Schildar of East Germany finishes